The controller told us that these objects had been observed for over 2 weeks, coming down from over 80,000 feet, rapidly descending to 20,000 feet, hanging out for hours, and then going straight back up. For those who don't realize, above 80,000 feet is space.
Is there a correlation between any of the characteristics of these UAPs, UFOs?
What we tend to see are the smaller vehicles tend to be, think of a sports car. The large ones tend to be not always, but almost exclusively either triangular shape or boomerang shape.
Werewolves?
I see dead people walking around like regular people. They don't see each other. They only see what they want to see. They don't know they're dead.
The UFO, UAP community was fairly surprised. Shocked might be a better word.
If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
Biologics came with some of these recoveries, yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human.
Do you think there is life on other planets?
Well, I'm not quite sure, but I suppose there would be.
I've seen a flying saucer.
You've seen one?
Yes, definitely. At Lane Cove.
When was this?
1953.
You don't think this is a figment of your imagination?
Several other people with me saw it.
I'm not wishing that all that stay with me.
The power of Christ compels you! The power of Christ compels you!
There is now a new UFO whistleblower with some major bombshell level statements.
There is very compelling evidence that we may not be alone.
Welcome to the Michigan UFO Sightings and Paranormal Encounters podcast, where we explore the unexplained and mysterious phenomena that have occurred throughout the state of Michigan and beyond.
From UFO sightings to ghostly encounters, we delve deep into the stories, the evidence, and the theories behind these strange events.
We are your hosts. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Wayne.
We are an educator duo that after an encounter with a triangular UFO in 2018 in Michigan, we decided to investigate UFOs and the paranormal. In this podcast, we will be speaking with eyewitnesses, experts, and researchers to uncover the truth about some of the most intriguing cases of paranormal activity in and around Michigan.
Our goal is not to convince anyone of the existence of these phenomena, but rather to provide a platform for discussion and exploration. So, buckle up and join us on this journey down the paranormal rabbit hole.
On an escalator.
Well. Hello, everybody. How is it going? Woo, yes. And as Michelle just said in chat, I am flying solo tonight because Michelle is out of the state and down in Kentucky tonight. So visiting her father and some family for Thanksgiving. Yeah, so I will be flying solo. I got some interesting stuff for you guys, though, and we can kind of chat about that. And Michelle says, oh, she just got there. So Michelle is live in chat right now from Kentucky. So, yeah. But it is November 22nd, 2023. It is Thanksgiving Eve. And I figured, you know what? Michelle's gone. She's on the road. I might as well jump on here. Keep myself a little busy so I don't go stir crazy in a quiet house tonight. So thank you everyone for joining us. Let's see, who do we got here? Who do we got? Who do we have? Let me pull up some comments here. Do the quick scroll, and we have howdy from up north. We've got Friends with Monsters. Now, Friends with Monsters, I told you we've got a very interesting story that was sent to us. I'm going to read that. It is from Northern Michigan. That's all they said. So I'll read that to you guys here in a little bit. We have the boss, Diane Boss. We have Mama Dorothy Hodkins. What's up, Dorothy? Thank you for joining us tonight, as always. Let's see, who else do we have? We have Janine in the house. What's up, Janine? How are you? Good to see you. One of our fellow Detroiters here. So good seeing you. Thank you for joining us. Glad you could make it. Let's see, who else do we have? I know I saw, there he is. It's Guy Merritt. Now, Guy and I have had a conversation over the last couple days. I'm not going to get into it too much, but let's just say there's some crazy synchronicities. And I will say this. Every time I get fed up with my time getting stretched thin, dealing with 130 students every day, and then trying to think of podcast stuff and getting guests on and everything else, there are times where I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to walk away. You know what, Michelle? Let's just walk away. Let's just forget it. It's too much of a time investment. We're not getting anything back out of it. And then I get a message from Guy every time this happens. And Guy gives me some new information or another story that happened to him, or somebody he knows, or somebody that contacts him. And sure enough, it's like I am back at it again. And the juices start going about doing another show. So Guy's here, and I'm here because it's all Guy's fault. So I blame that guy. All right, we got Rick Davis. Rick, thanks for joining us, man. You've got one of the most interesting little sigils there, and I know you said you got that from some type of encounter you had. And one of these days, you got to get us your story, dude. We definitely need to learn. We need to learn about that. I think it'd be good information. And let's see, who else do we have? We have Guy. We have, oh, look, it's Michelle. Wayne is flying solo on the camera, she says. Yes, I am. Flying solo the whole thing tonight, running chat, running all kinds of stuff. So let's see, Rick Davis. Who else do we have? I know I saw somebody else. Hold on. Where is he? There he is. It's Barry. Hey, Barry. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And that looks like everybody for right now. So, yeah, I wasn't really expecting too many people to show up tonight because, well, I just did this impromptu. And I was over on GoofOn for a little bit watching some of Richie's material. And I put something in chat that kind of has my kind of where I'm feeling right now with the whole ufology thing. And one of the things I said to Richie was, we need to set up or call in a crash retrieval team for ufology. And why am I saying that? Especially after Well, David Grush was on Rogan. That's all the big talk right now and everything. And I've gone back and forth on Grush. And I'm going to be honest, I haven't watched anything to do with UFOs over the last couple weeks. I really haven't. But yeah, I can't help to feel like the Charlie Brown and Lucy's holding the football. And every time we move forward to learn something, it's the same old stuff. And that football gets pulled away and we end up on our butts every time. This time it's Grush, right? Oh, I can't talk about this. This is real national security stuff. I want the American people to know, but let's see. Anyways, let's keep talking here and welcoming people. We've got Reality Check. It says, hi, people. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you and everybody watching. Again, thank you for joining us. Yeah, this is Thanksgiving Eve. And we actually had to teach today. Michelle had a half day. I had a full day, but we got to teach virtually. So I got to teach from home all day. But yeah, I don't know. This thing just, and I think I know what the problem is about how this is bothering me and kind of getting in my head with Grush and all of these people. And I think for my sanity, and I don't know how Michelle feels about this. We haven't really sat down and talked about it. But I'm really interested in figuring out kind of on my own and kind of like on our own of what's going on and collecting and talking to people and getting their personal encounters and their stories, even as outlandish as they might sound. I will listen to them and be more interested in what they have to say than anybody that's associated or tied to any of these organizations or government stuff. Am I bad for saying that? Am I wrong? Hey, Tabin. Tabin has joined us, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving Eve, Tabin. See, and this is where Stephen Bassett and I kind of parted our ways, because he seems to think that disclosure has to come from the government, has to come from the governments of the world. It's got to be the higher ups. And I don't feel comfortable giving those people any more power than they already have, especially over something like this. Because let's think about it. Let's just say that giant triangle that Michelle and I saw back in March of 2018, let's just say that was an actual craft that we've designed. All right. Thumbs up. It's a TR3B or whatever the case may be. Okay. All right. So that means that we have some very advanced technology, and these people are deciding to fly these craft over populated areas. And the propulsion systems are making people ill in certain ways, or they're abducting people. Right? I mean, so would you expect an organization, would you expect a government that is doing that to also give you information about this stuff? I don't think so. I really don't. So I find it very hard to deal with some of this stuff. And I think that Grush has been told things that he believes to be true, but that doesn't mean that he is not being played in some way. So I don't know. Let's see. What does Janine say here? Our neighbor. I saw Grush on a podcast saying he had to be careful of what he says and his testimony has to be ran by the Pentagon first. So I doubt we'll ever get the real truth. Well said, Janine. Absolutely 100%. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Let's see what Guy has to say here. Guy says, that shit's alien. I think he's referring to the UFO. We saw that triangle. We might be working with some of them, but I think the thing I saw was alien, period. Yep. And then Rick Davis says, where is it? Right here. What I encountered was not from here. Now, how many of those people, like Rick and Guy, myself and Michelle, how many of those people are being interviewed by people in the government? They don't care about what happens to us. Now, me and Michelle's case has now gotten the attention of what the heck is his name? I just drew a blank. Christopher Mellon. All right. And he was part of the Academy to the Stars stuff with Lou Elizondo and things. And he has talked to Micah Hanks. He heard our story on Micah Hanks' program and he contacted Micah Hanks and he asked us to look at a drawing and the eyewitness drawing and notes of a pilot that he interviewed to see if it was something similar to what we saw. That was very, very close. So, I mean, but the only reason that we're getting looked at or talked to is because of doing this. And we're only doing this because we want to hear people's stories so that we can keep our sanity. Hey, it's Zach Diecast Mansour has joined us in the chat. Hey, Zach, welcome. I'm just sitting here ranting and raving on this Thanksgiving Eve of November 22nd, 2023. Yeah, so good seeing you, my friend. And so, yeah, I watched Richie's show for a little bit tonight. I was on and off, and it just got me thinking about some of this stuff and my level of frustration. And, and I hate to say so many people are talking about this stuff and they have their opinions and everything else. And so who are we to talk about this? And, sometimes we're not anybody to talk about this stuff. We really just sometimes want to listen and listen to what happened to other people, at least what their experience was. And I think that's all we can honestly do. We don't need a government to come forward and say these things are real. We know they're real. And so I just, I think like Stephen Bassett has really jumped into the being a lobbyist and pushing government. That's his avenue of trying to get things done and the disclosure word and all of this stuff. But man, oh man, I'll tell you what, I don't know if it's going to get us anywhere. And it seems like ufology goes through these phases, right? And I haven't been into this stuff that long, but there always seems to be something that pulls people back in, and David Grush is the latest thing. Yeah, Reality Check says frustration is what we're all feeling. Wayne, join the club. Absolutely. Yep. So anyways, Thanksgiving Eve, figured we'd sit around, talk. I've got a couple of submitted videos from people on our Facebook group that I want you guys to see. One of them I'm pretty sure is the International Space Station. And then I have a cryptid sighting / story from somebody in the northern Michigan region. So I want you guys to check that out and listen to that. Yeah, I'm just, man, it's just been a crazy last few weeks. And yeah, I don't even know what more to say on top of that. So, hey, what do you guys want to do first? I'll throw it out there to you. Do you want the story first, or do you want one of the videos? It's Metalhead. Hey, Metalhead, thanks for joining us. What is going on, my friend? Good seeing you. All right, let's see. What is Dorothy saying here? Dorothy says, the longer you're looking into this field, the more I'm convinced that the mainstream narrative is being pushed upon us. That's a good point. That is a great point. And, you know, I don't know about some of you out there, but I really like former Navy SEAL Sean Ryan. I really like his show a lot. And if you want to talk about the mainstream media being crooked and paid for and manipulated and whatever, watch his latest episodes. And I'm not endorsing Sean Ryan. Most of you probably already know who he is. But I will tell you this. If you want to see a beautiful example of mainstream media and why people hate it so much at this point, his latest episode, he has a journalist on who is releasing a book, and it's about Jeffrey Epstein. All right. So think about that. Think about what that monster, along with his woman, Ghislaine Maxwell, what they did to women and possibly even young boys and the political elite. Think about the damage and the money and the blackmail that or those two people did in the world into the whole consciousness of humans. And it is just a quiet story. Just, it's kept breathing, little trickles here and there. But who was in the black book? Well, this guy who's writing this book, or has written the book and published it, and I'll look up his name here. He's got the black book. He knows the people's contact information and all of that. It's insane. And our mainstream media, his name is Nick Bryant. Nick Bryant. And let me just share this with you guys. This right here. This is part 1 and part 2. I'm halfway through part 2. But Nick Bryant, he investigated some other child pornography rings and, like, you know, sex trafficking and things like that. And so when he got into doing the Epstein investigation, he was already he already knew his stuff on how to do things. Hold on, let me fix my camera. Sorry, everybody. That's a little bit better. Yes, he's releasing names. And basically this black book is like all the contact information, and some people's names in there are circled. And this was done by the person who ran Epstein's properties. And the more that these people were interacting with Epstein and the girls, he circled the names in this black book. So think of a Rolodex, right? But the way that he describes it is, the more important of a person you were to Epstein and a more of a customer you were to him, the more contact numbers he had for you. And I think he said he had Clinton in there like 17 times, 17 different ways to get a hold of Bill Clinton and some other people as well. Man. So yeah, everybody's in the book. He talks about what happened. I think I'm going to pull this up real quick and see if I can let me give you this guy's bio. He's Nick Bryant is the author of the Franklin Scandal and activist for Epstein Justice. So his new book is called called Epstein Justice. He also is credited with publishing Jeffrey Epstein's Little Black Book. So there's the Franklin Scandal that he talks about in part 1, and that's child trafficking. It was highly publicized, but then hidden. Everything started to be put away. Like there's this whole underground dark network of just horrible sex trafficking and stuff that's going on. So, yeah. A reality check says metalhead, make a few 30 seconds. So, yeah. If he does name some, I'd be wary of authenticity. Well, they're coming out of that black book, which was his. That book was stolen, I guess, from the property. And there was a whole FBI investigation and stuff. And then he ended up with it somehow. This guy is like really good. But anyways. Yeah, it's just crazy. So anyways, you have a government and a system in place that is willing to hide that information, because let's face it, everybody knows at this point in time that Epstein was probably some type of an intelligence guy, right? He was blackmailing people, getting intelligence, and probably selling to the highest bidder. So, yeah. You need to just check out his interviews. He's kind of hard to listen to. He's got a weird way that he speaks. But he's fantastic. He's a great source of knowledge and a great investigative, reporter and stuff. So yeah, check it out. But so that's why I just don't have any kind of hope or belief that the U.S. government or any government of the world is going to release anything about what these UFOs are. And there's no way in the world that they do not know or have an idea what is going on. So, and I know Guy said back here, Guy has been misidentified as a cryptid before. I could see that. So, Guy says, yeah, of course they know. Of course. Absolutely. All right. So let me pull up one of these first videos I want to show you guys. Let me get this all set up. I would just download it, but it is kind of a pain. So I'm going to go ahead and just share my screen here. So this is the one that I think is the ISS, the International Space Station. With the way that it moves and stuff, it could be like a lantern. Here we go. I got the sound off because there's noise in the background. But let me go ahead and do something like that right there. Okay, now you can see it. It's kind of right here. I don't know if you can see my cursor or not. Probably not, since it's sharing the screen. But anyways, up to the upper left, so go in a diagonal from the moon there. You see that bright star looking thing. You're going to also see some lights jumping around as the camera starts moving around, that is reflections from the lights that you see on that house. So here. So this is from an anonymous user on our group. And you see those lights bouncing around? That's just reflection from those night lights on the front of the house, the porch lights, and on the garage there. But it's what's moving at a consistent speed right there, that bright light. To me, that looks like the ISS. I've seen the ISS before, and that's kind of what it looks like. Now, when I saw the ISS, I was living in Brighton, Howell, Michigan area. And when that thing came across the sky, it was hauling, like it was moving fast. This doesn't look like it has that same speed, but it's very consistent and bright like the ISS. I don't know. What do you guys think? Sputnik. Hey, Sputnik 57. How are you? Good seeing you. Welcome, welcome. So I think that right there, and that's it. Just when I saw ISS, man, it was hauling. It was moving through the sky. So let's look at it one more time. So there it is. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm thinking ISS. Oh, Tabin, you're saying something interesting here. There is no benefit to the government telling us, period. That is true. That is true. Now, if that was a Chinese lantern, let's say, wouldn't it be flickering more? Yeah, it's hard to see on a small screen. Yeah, Rick says anything I've seen in space which moves at a constant speed, I usually label it as a satellite. And that's why I'm saying it's a satellite or the ISS, the International Space Station. I tend to agree. Guy says it looks really odd. It does. It does look really odd. One last time, I'm going to play it through. It just seems like it's too slow. Well, I can't really tell you the direction that it's moving, but I believe this was filmed near Swartz Creek in Michigan. When I saw the ISS, it was fast. Zach, or it's an alien piloted UFO. Nah. Yeah, so I know there's some websites and stuff you can go on. This was, I believe, last Friday when our group member filmed this. Nathan from the Quantum Show, welcome. Yep, we just went live, impromptu, jumping on. But anyways, all right, so that's that one. So kind of on the fence, but that was from an anonymous user on the Facebook group. And she said, not sure if this is, and I'm only saying she because the voice that if you listen to it, it's female. Not sure if this is anything or not. It didn't behave like an airplane. Happened to be around 6:30 Friday night. So this was posted 15 hours ago. So I'm assuming she's talking last Friday. Notice the object when I was leaving for a walk with my dog, as it was right by the moon, but quickly moved to the northeast. So, and then she goes on to say this was near Swartz Creek. Somebody said a sky lantern. Some people put the links up to go find the space station and stuff like that. So this person here said that it is the ISS. So it's kind of what I thought. All right. What else do we have? Is it story time? This story's crazy. I mean, it's pretty short. It might be embellished a little bit, but I've got one for you. I know it's from northern Michigan. Wrong color for a lantern? Yes. Yeah. Definitely. I think a lantern would be like have a yellowish to it, right? And it would flicker more. This is a very consistent. Yeah. So I'm going to rule that one as the space station. But let me pull this up here. Okay, are you guys ready? I want you guys to listen to this story. And I was going to just do a listener communication volume 4, but I want to get a couple of them in. All right. And Diane, I'm glad you're here because I think you could appreciate this story as well. All right. This is crazy. I'm just going to say it kind of blew my mind. But all right, let's see. Back in the summer of 86, when I was just 18, something strange happened to me up in northern Michigan. It was a warm evening, and I decided to take a walk through the woods near my family's cabin. The sun was setting, casting shadows along the trees or among the trees. As I strolled along the familiar trail, so I don't know what trail they're talking about, but okay, so it must have been a trail. There's all kinds of trails up there. I heard a rustling in the bushes. I figured it was just a raccoon or maybe a deer, but the atmosphere felt different, kind of eerie. I hate that. I couldn't shake that feeling that I was being watched. The rustling grew louder, and suddenly a creature emerged from the shadows. It was like nothing I've ever seen before. Its eyes glowed in the fading light, and its fur looked almost ethereal, shimmering in the twilight. I froze, unable to move as the creature stared right at me. All right. They go on to say it had the body of a wolf, and its paws were more like hands with long, spindly fingers. Its howl was chilling, echoing through the silent woods. I felt a shiver run down my spine. This wasn't an ordinary animal. It was something not of the natural world. I tried to back away slowly, but the creature followed, always keeping its eyes locked on mine. It moved with unnatural grace, gliding through the underbrush. Panic set in as I realized there was no escaping this mysterious being. Suddenly, it vanished into thin air, leaving me standing alone in the darkening woods. I rubbed my eyes, thinking maybe it was a trick of the light, but the chill in the air lingered. That night, I couldn't sleep, haunted by the image of that creature. To this day, I'm not sure if it was a ghostly guardian or something more malevolent. But one thing is for certain, the summer of 86 in northern Michigan left me with a tale that still sends shivers down my spine. Whew. Dude, that's a good one. That sounds like Dogman. I mean, 100%. Northern Michigan, that sounds like a dogman encounter. I mean, just really. All right, guy. Guy says it sounds like a student loan debt collector. Yeah. No kidding, right? And then it just disappears. Yeah. It's clear cut. She saw the devil. Well, the one thing that makes me like, how did it vanish? Like, vanish right into thin air? You know, so I mean, I don't know. Interesting story. And, you know, you're talking 1986. So, geez, what was that? 30 years ago? Somebody's remembering, but they remembered quite a lot of details. All right. Okay, so guy goes on. Guy, this is clear cut. She saw the devil or an ugly angel. Now, how many ugly angels do you think there are? I don't know, Diane. What did you think of that story? Yeah, it is. It's a wild story. Oh, man. Could people's minds play such tricks on them that they see, you know, they see something? Ah, man. All right, let's see. What does Nathan have to say here? Nathan, we look around, what we see is not all there is. We have trouble understanding anything we can't see, but where do these disappearing things go to? Okay, so that's a question I have, right? Like Bigfoot and, you know, the case of the dog man, or in this case, whatever this dog-like creature, wolf-like creature was. Now, in my mind, if you're crossing dimensions or using portals or something, shouldn't you have some type of technology that allows this to happen? Now, take it for what it's worth. I'm a novice in this stuff. I'm looking for, how would I want to move to a different dimension or something like that, or move through a different dimension? I would need some kind of technology to do that, unless I somehow use psychedelics or something to move my consciousness to a different place and not my body. But everybody talks about people seeing these things, and you know, you'll see the footprints, you can see the thing jumped, it landed, it jumps again, and there's nothing on the other side. So I don't know. It seems very weird. All right, let's see what Guy has to say. The difficulty with that kind of a story is that it's one single person's account, no other witnesses, corroborations, etc. Not saying it's a lie at all. That's true. Yep. It was an eyewitness account, something that stuck with that person. Dorothy says, people see these things and have these experiences, whether or not they can be proven. For us with these encounters, there's a knowingness. A knowingness. I like that. In my case, Dorothy goes on to say, waking up took my entire lifetime. Thanks, extra traumatic childhood experiences. Yeah, I think we all have grown up with some type of traumatic experiences as children. I know just being alive in the 80s, the 70s and the 80s, and the better part of the 90s was traumatic, just because we constantly lived under a threat of nuclear warfare. And then it seems like, what was the narrative that took that place? Oh, terrorism. And then they gave us a demonstration of that. All right, so now we have to live for another 20 years of some kind of war or something where it's like, hey, keep you guys messed up. And keep the money flowing to make more and more weapons. Yeah. All right, let's see here. What do we got? Oh, I want to do these other videos. Now, these other videos were sent in to our Facebook group. I watched them. I even made a screenshot of what I think is the craft in the video. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. I wonder if I can. Okay. I'm going to show you guys the screen capture I did first. And then show you the video. Let me see. To get this to work right. I'm going to blow this up. All right. There we go. All right. Bear with me here. Now I sound like Richie. Where'd it go? What happened? Where's the stuff at? I got it here. It's just getting it set up. All right. So, Guy, before you skip out, hold on. I want you to see this screenshot. I'm going to show you the video here in a minute. And there's a couple of them that they sent in. One, I think this was like about midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. And then they get up and go to work in the morning. And there is a black, looks like a black triangle just floating in the sky, and then it disappears, or so they say. So, okay, so that's it. Yeah, Richie, it was a balloon. Love to Richie. Yes, it was. Everything's a balloon. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing that. Let me go ahead and bring those videos up. And there's cursing in this because, well, they're very excited about what they're capturing, and I'm going to make sure that you guys don't hear it. Now, there's something either with the camera movement. All right, what is this thing doing? Is it freezing up on me? Okay. There is something up with the camera movement that bothers me. All right. All right, roll the film. All right. Let's watch it again. So he says it looks like a kite. Right there. And this is where it's going to freeze up on me. Hold on. Stand by. You see how it's moving? It almost looks like a kite, is what he says.
Kite.
Doesn't it?
Just
Just blowing on.
I don't know. All right. So, anyways, Oh, good point, Taban. All right. Taban says, I think the camera is using active image stabilization. That's why it's a little weird. I think you're right. I think this is one of those Chevron craft, to be perfectly honest. I think they caught one. Let me give you guys a little bit. It says, I live in Wayne County, Garden City area of Michigan, and around 4:50 a.m., I seen this V-shaped object just hovering in one spot. Around 7 a.m., it was still there. Later that day, it disappeared. Has anyone seen anything like this? All right. So let's look at the other shot he took. Let me share this. Let's see if this one will blow up. All right. That's not bad, I guess. Here we go. There it is. You're right. That is the stabilization. And then it does move. It seems like it moves off. I mean, could it be some type of a tethered balloon? But you're talking Garden City. You're talking near Detroit Metro Airport. It is. It is pretty damn weird. All right. All right. So let me go ahead and pull up the other one. This is the daylight one. Now, this is really weird. Go ahead and share this with you guys. I mean, how much more fun can you possibly have on the day before Thanksgiving? Probably anything but watching this stuff. All right, check this out. The flying Thanksgiving wishbone. Yes. Thanks for that, Friends with Monsters. Yep. All right, check this out. So they're zooming in. He can see it with the naked eye. He's trying to find it in the camera. He sees it. Comes into view. And doesn't it look like there's some kind of trail behind it? All right, happy Thanksgiving, Dorothy. Thanks for joining us tonight. I mean, this thing is weird, and it was there all night. Dots. I'm going to try to freeze it right there. That does look like a kite. What do you have something, Metalhead? That you were going to upload? Yes, Rick Davis. It is the same daytime shot. Yep, of the same V that they saw that night. That is correct. At least that's what they say. So that's in that same area. That's like 7 o'clock in the morning. I mean, it looks like there's something coming off the back end of it, but then it's not moving. He said it's hovering. Go back here. Right. would need a big tail to stabilize, right? So that's why kites have a tail to stabilize them, especially ones that were like triangular like this, like a flying wing, like a parachute, but the paraglider ones, the ones that are steerable. And why would this be in the same place all night long? I mean, if it's a kite, it's going to get moved around by the wind and stuff like that. It's not just going to sit there. Garden City area. So anybody that watches this, Garden City area, did you guys see anything like this? This was a couple days ago. See vapor coming out the back. It does look like that. There's some kind of distortion. I agree with you. But it's not moving. If it was being pushed like by some type of propulsion, it looks like it's pretty high. On a cold fall day, you would have some kind of contrails, but you can see he sees it with the naked eye, and then he zooms in, and it comes in, and it's just kind of staying there. But look there's a distortion behind it. If I wouldn't know any better, I would think a B-2 bomber, but those things don't hover, and they make lots of noise. I don't know. We've got some pretty damn weird stuff here in Michigan. That's the one thing I do know. It is very, very strange. Weird Michigan. Let's see, Guy, what do you say? It looks really weird, but it's such a long ways away. It's hard to really know much. Yeah. Totally strange that it was there at night and remained there in the AM. I agree. But this stuff is weird. That's the whole point with this stuff. Stuck in a cloud. Is that like the Apple cloud? I can't download it. It's stuck in the cloud. And there's a bug flying around here. How about that? Middle of November. Lots of missing 411 in Michigan. I believe that. I never really looked into that. So anyways, that's what we had going on for today. So just some weird stuff going on. I figured I'd get on here with Michelle being gone and down at her father's house in Kentucky for Thanksgiving and next couple days. Figured I'd jump on here and chat with y'all and see what was new and show you guys these videos that were posted. The one for sure, I'm 90% sure. Oh, there's this one. Oh, okay. Let me give you some background if I can. All right. So some people were saying this looks like the reflection. Okay. Photo sent in to the group. People were saying this looks like a reflection of interior house lights on a window. The person that posted this didn't give us any other information. Other than I was not expecting what I saw other people pulled off the road. It was kind of crazy. Okay, well, there you go. It's not interior dome lights. This is outside. I was on Long Lake Road east of Orchard Lake Road. There are no lights there. It was very dark. Definitely street lights reflecting onto your car window. November 3rd, 2023 at 5:45 a.m. I saw one flying over Waterford right over Loon Lake going from the northeast to the southwest, went towards Pontiac. So people are seeing these things. There you go. It just seems to get crazier and crazier. All right. Who else do we got? We have somebody else. I'm in Clare County. Who is this? New watcher. Sinar. Or is it Sinner? I'm in Clare County and some strangeness for sure at times. Yeah, over our lakes, man. If you guys want to watch UFOs, go on the shores of Michigan. Go on the beaches. You'll see some weird stuff. They're very interested in the water here. That I do know for a fact, especially being friends with Jack Bouchon and his whole 1994 radar tracking of those craft and what they were doing over Lake Michigan. And then when you hear the report from those campers that were on the shore of Lake Michigan, and they're talking about how these things were pulling water up into the craft. Yeah. So why did they want our water? Is it a scarce resource? What's the deal with it? Yep. So I don't know, guys. What else is going on in the news? Anything? Was there anything else I wanted to talk to you guys about? We've been on an hour already. Just ranting and raving. Pretty quiet tonight. The cats aren't even yelling and chasing each other. I know there was something going on recently where it was like $30 to see some type of a online convention with Richard Dolan, Stephen Bassett, the Soul Conference or something, SOL. Is that what that was? I did not watch it. Okay. Well, all right. Okay. Now this is funny. Maybe kind of. All right. Check this out. So I just happened to type that in. Here's what shows up. Okay. Let's just stop that there. So this is on Newsweek. I don't know how credible they are. Is the U.S. on the verge of catastrophic UFO leak? What we know. This is November 22nd. That's today. A retired U.S. Army colonel has said continuing to hide information about UFOs could have catastrophic consequences for America amid new claims that government officials agreed to hold back top secret research 20 years ago. I'm going to move this. All right. Colonel Carl E. Nell called on a Stanford University conference for a campaign plan that would force greater transparency and a Manhattan Project to reverse engineer recovered UFOs or unidentified anomalous phenomenon UAPs. The Daily Mail reported on Tuesday. Washington insiders also heard how in 2004, a CIA think tank, the Defense Intelligence Agency, and the Pentagon broadly agreed that information about UFOs should not be declassified, deeming the societal risk too great. What is this article, man? This just came out today. The Mail based its report on the first symposium of the Soul Foundation, a nonprofit calling for serious, well-funded, and cutting-edge academic research into the nature of unidentified aerial phenomenon and their broad cosmological and political implications. this is that event. The event on Saturday heard from Colonel Nell, a former CIA scientist, Hal Puthoff. And former CIA scientist Hal Puthoff. Puthoff made the allegations about the 2004 think tank discussions, which he said had erred toward not disclosing UFO research details to the public. Wow. So, man, is this all about this guy? Is he really pushing this stuff, making people jump and get antsy? That's very interesting. You can't handle the truth. You can't. You know what? I don't know if if it has to do with handling the truth. You can't handle the truth. I don't think people want to handle the truth. You know how many days I got to deal with little people, teenagers, and they just don't want to handle the truth? Hey, look at who's here. It's Nathaniel Gillis. Dude, you got to get back on the show, man. We got to talk about your work recently. What's been going on? Nobody will believe the truth, says Metalhead. Nobody wants to believe the truth. This is how we can have people changing words in the English language. All right, Nathaniel, we got to get you set up to come back on. We haven't talked in about a year or so. We're galactic chicken nuggets. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, just this stuff. And I'm sure Nathaniel will end up telling us that this is not some type of alien stuff. These are different types of beings that have been written about in biblical and religious text for millennia, which could very well be. I mean, they tell stories of abductions. I mean, come on. They just use different words, different language. So, I mean, we got to, Jesus spoke of them. Well, let me just put it this way. If you took a cell phone back just 200 years ago or 100 years ago and you showed somebody a cell phone and what it could do, they would say you were a witch. I mean, you're using a magical device. You got lights going off in your phone. Now, let's move that back 1,000 years. You have some type of beings that can move around, fly around, do things, abduct people. You can't touch them. You can't see them. You can't stop them. What would you call them? Demons? Angels? Ezekiel's wheel? You're going to use references for what you know. Look at all the kids in my classroom. I mean, these kids, everything that they talk about is about TikTok videos and emojis. It's like a whole new language that has sprouted up. Every cultural reference is a 30-second video from TikTok. It's really, and they don't have creative thought much anymore. They can't think creatively at all. It's really creepy how this stuff is going, how these phones have affected the children. We're going to be in a lot of trouble. All those parents out there that let the internet and technology raise their kids. They're very narcissistic. They're very entitled. They're very apathetic and indifferent. They cannot take they cannot see the perception from someone else's perspective, I should say. Right? They can't put themselves in other people's shoes. And so they have very little empathy. And so when you're going to have a whole mess of young adults coming into the world that do not have those skills and they're not socially adjusted, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. So, but I will tell you this, invest in ear implants, hearing aids, invest in those. And if you want a good career in the future, become a chiropractor, because they're always hunched over like this, looking at a screen. Oh, and probably ophthalmology too, because their eyes are going to be messed up. So if you can work on backs, ears, and eyeballs, you're going to be good. You'll be making a lot of money in the future. All right. I know I haven't said this before, but before I get out of here, hey, if you want to help support the channel and our insane ramblings, well, Michelle's the one that keeps me sane around here. She's not here, so you're stuck with me for a minute. So make sure you go ahead and like, share, subscribe, and make sure you leave us a comment too. It helps the algorithm and get our stuff out to people that might be interested. So thank you for doing that. You can support, go into the show notes and the show description down there, and you can find links to our store, which is MI UFO podcast store.online. Oh, and yes, I got to show you a new shirt I designed and put up there. If you got a story you want to tell us, a sighting, paranormal story, anything, and you want us to get it out there, help you get it off your chest, share it with people, send us an email at mi.ufo.podcast@gmail.com. And now we can have members on YouTube. Well, not that kind of member. It's not that kind of YouTube. There's a little join button down there, somewhere right over there. You can click that and become a member, and you will get custom emojis of our little alien guy. And absolutely help support us. And I think I have it set to like $2 a month or something, $3 a month if you want to become a member, which is, very low scale. We're not going to charge a lot of money. It would be nice to get a little bit back to cover our costs for StreamYard and the equipment and everything else. And any conferences and stuff we're going to go to, that helps a lot. Let's see. Let me jump back to the comments before I head out of here. Tabin says, watching 18 to 20 somethings year old coming into my workplace. Yeah, we're doomed. And then Metalhead says, my oldest son just turned 22. We are in trouble. Rick Davis says, my research shows that we could be within 7 months of seeing hundreds, if not thousands, of these craft hanging in the sky in an instant. Okay, why? Why would that happen? Rick, I must know why. You have to tell me. So hopefully you're feverishly typing away. What are they up to? Yes, I must know. Dimension shift, they're already here. But why are they going to do that display? All right, so you guys are going to crack up when you see this. So let me... Okay, so this is our online store, right? We got t-shirts and we got some that have front and back prints. All right, so kept the prices as low as possible. And some of these are like classic crew neck, and some are like the extra comfy soft shirts and things like that. But this, Michelle wanted this one made, the IDK, I don't know. But this one, my students inspired me to kind of come up with this one. You see what had happened was, and then our little alien UFO. Yes, I did order one. So I'll be wearing one of those soon. But that's the new shirt. And I also have that in a hoodie. Why do I sound like I'm like one of these online salespeople that goes on lives, and try to sell like makeup and stuff? Michelle watches some of this stuff. Here's a great hoodie, right? There you go. It's got great print on it. Here's a zip up jacket. Yep, it's in black. It goes up to 2X. And then here we got the Comfort Soft t-shirt. So, bro, wait a minute. What is this reality check? Hold on. It's bad when you have to show a kid how to use a broom. Are you a teacher by any chance, reality check? Because that sounds like something right out of the teacher's handbook right there. Gosh, dog. 100%, man. This is how you sharpen a pencil. This is how you don't stab your neighbor that's sitting next to you in the eye with the pencil. Yeah, if Michelle was here, we could go on. Maybe we'll do a special, like, different type of video where we talk about teacher stuff and what goes on in the classrooms. You guys, if you're not aware, if you're not a teacher, and we started telling you some of the stories and things that have happened over the years. Now, I've only been a teacher now in the high school environment in the inner city for 8 years. This is my 8th year. I switched careers and went into teaching science. Michelle's been doing middle school teaching English, an advanced AP English, for 24. This will be her 24th year. Yeah. The stuff that we deal with, and there is stuff where the FBI is involved, kind of stuff, with what these kids are doing with the technology. Instead of using it to do a research paper and you've got the whole, you got a cell phone, right? And you got the whole world of knowledge in your hands. What these kids are using it for would disturb you. Literally, you would lose your mind. And Metalhead, what? I feel like I failed. Failed what? Random thought. Oh, are you talking about your son being 22 and we failed? Well, they'll eventually grow up. I mean, think about how we learned, your kids. Yeah, dude, it's not easy, man. It is not easy. Especially with all the distractions and everything that our generation and the generation before us created. The sign of the times. Yeah. Yep. It's these kids are getting creepy though. I mean, I can't get into too much details, but I remember simpler times when I was a kid growing up and we thought we were so cool because we could take a tape recorder and stick it in front of a radio and wait for a song. That's one thing we had. We had to wait for things. Kids nowadays don't wait for a damn thing. But we used to have to sit and wait, and we had that delayed gratification of sitting there waiting for the song we wanted to record on a cassette tape. And here it comes. Boom, we hit a button. We waited 3 hours for the damn radio station to play that song we wanted and get it on and make a mixtape. Remember all that stuff? That taught us some very valuable lessons. Now it's like, I'll just go to YouTube and download it. I'll just download it from Amazon. It's like, holy crap. They were sheltered. So Metalhead says they were sheltered. I'm a guitar player. Did the same. Yeah. Yep. I'm a guitar player too. I was in a band for 8 years, 2 different bands, but yeah. Nowadays they teach no useful life skills for real life. That is correct. It's all about going to college and getting you in debt, keeping those professors and colleges open. It's like, not everybody needs to go to college. That's a scam. And you're getting people who are not fiscally or financially educated and intelligent, and you're giving them quote unquote free money. That's how they think of it. And they go into debt. That's not good because they don't understand compounding interest. They don't understand the terms of a loan. And you're basically turning your people into indentured servants because there's no way to discharge any kind of a student loan. Not unless they change that. Because I'll tell you what, for the amount of money that we make as teachers and the amount of work we have to put in and how much it cost us to become teachers and then what we have to deal with, we have the highest turnover in any profession. Like, bar none. And yet we're stuck with the debt because we wanted to help and teach kids, right? Oh, I could go on for a while on this because this makes me very angry. And, you know, I might be more on the conservative right side of things, but when it comes to the scam, which is college education, I think we've ripped off our own people. We really have. And we need more electricians in our schools to teach kids how to become electricians, carpentry, mechanics. We need all of that. That's what we need. So, because these kids don't learn anything from books anymore. Yeah, college indoctrination. That's one of the things they use college for. That's for sure. Cursive handwriting. Yeah, that's almost illegal in all 50 states anymore. You know, cursive handwriting was awesome when you had to take notes. Right? You had to be able to write fast. Cursive handwriting's the perfect answer to that. Or if you could learn shorthand. Yep. 100%. Dude, it's almost like we're destroying our own culture, you know, our own society. I don't know what they think they're going to replace it with. But it's crazy. I don't know. Real world stuff. Maybe that's why everybody's into the UFOs and things, because you know what? Even though it doesn't make any sense, it makes more sense than what other humans here on Earth right now are behaving like and doing to their own people. So, yeah. Well, Metalhead, we're effed. You know? Here's the one thing, though. You can't change the world around you like everybody tells you that you can, but you can affect yourself, right? So you can educate yourself. You can do things to make yourself better. And that's kind of what I've been working on and doing. I got to show you guys these books I've had. And I pulled them out because I'm going to read them. I'm going to dig into them hardcore. You guys are going to crack up. So check out this one. The Trivium, The Liberal Arts of Logic, Grammar, and Rhetoric by Sister Miriam Joseph. This stuff is old school, like Socratic and Plato stuff. It's called the Trivium, and that's what the liberal arts used to be. Logic, grammar, and rhetoric. All right, so I'm reading that, digging into that, going back to old school. And then there's the second part of that, which is called, check this one out. That's a pretty hefty book. The Quadrivium. The 4 classical liberal arts of number, geometry, music, and cosmology. Cool stuff. Right? These are old classics. Like, this is classic stuff. Yeah. I mean, I'm interested in this one because of the geometry, music, number, and cosmology. And it's really cool how they put what this is. So just right here, the classical liberal arts, where, you know, you go to a liberal arts college, right? Right. And they use those terms, liberal arts. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. Right. The Trivium, the three arts of language pertaining to the mind: logic, the art of thinking; grammar, art of inventing and combining symbols; and rhetoric, art of communication. The Quadrivium, the 4 arts of quantity pertaining to matter. So this is pretty cool. Discrete quantity or number. So arithmetic, the theory of number; music, application of the theory of number. So that's all music is. And that's why music is the universal language, right? Because beats and numbers. Geometry, the theory of space; and astronomy, the application, or cosmology in this case, the application of the theory of space. You don't get this. You don't get this stuff in school anymore. This is like human mind 101 stuff. Yep. So anyways, it's been an interesting show, guys. We've been all over the place tonight. But like I said, wanted to jump on, talk to everybody, break up the boredom. Michelle's not here. The house is all dark and quiet. The cats are starting to stir. So that means I better lock myself in the room or I'll get ran over by a herd of cats. All right. All right, everybody. I'm going to get out of here. So let me get the outro music ready to go. Here we go. Hey, Rick. Dude, when are you going to send us your story, man? It has been a great show. You know, we had about 13 people on consistently, and then we were up and down, people coming and going. That's fine. They'll catch the replay. They want to listen to the insane chant, my rant. But, hey, all right, I am boss. Good night, everybody. Listen, everybody, have a great turkey day tomorrow. Great Thanksgiving. Be thankful. Be thankful. All right? Worry about yourself and be thankful and gracious for all the things that you do have. Whether you want to believe it or not, you do have a blessed life. You're in one of the best countries in the world right now. I hate to say it. Even with all of our problems, we still got it pretty good. All right, everybody. Remember, enjoy that turkey. Have a great night. We'll catch you guys on the other side. Keep your eyes where? To that sky.